Farm Field Day, take one.
Nice.
All right. Hey, if we can't have fun, we're not doing it right.
That's right.
So, well, you don't need the tractor yet, but as the kids come to the booth, welcome them, say, come on over, gather around. Usually I ask them to kind of create a semicircle. So gather around. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about being safe, healthy, and strong. Now, how many have been having fun on the farm?
Me.
I usually ask that, and you'll have them say, oh, I've been having fun. And I will ask, that's great. Our farm's a fun place. And then everyone usually says yes. Sometimes you have to feed the crowd a little bit.
Right.
Otherwise, someone will be like, no, they smell.
Right.
So if they say that, just say, well, no, they have tractors, animals, is that fun? Yes. Then from there, say, well, let's talk a little bit about being safe. Farms can be a lot of fun, but can they be a dangerous place? Most of the time, they'll say yes. And then you can even ask them, well, what are things that can be dangerous on the farm? Chickens usually come up. I don't know why. But chickens are scary to kids. So if they say chickens, smile and say, sure, they can be dangerous. What about other things? I kind of move on. And so, get them talking about animals, horses, cows. Then usually we just talk about, is it safe to get in the pen or a corral with an animal you're not familiar with? No, it's not. Can they kick? Can they bite? Yes. And so we just talk. You don't have to give them a lot of detail. Very, just surface safety issues. From there, talk about other things. Sometimes they'll bring up balers. And then I try and get them to tractors. And so I'll say, well, this is a tractor. And then I usually make a joke about it. Say, I know it's not a real tractor. This is a toy tractor. If it was real, I wouldn't be holding it. But pretend with me that this is a real tractor. Are real tractors a toy or are they a tool? Most often you'll get both. Mm-hmm. Yes, a toy and a tool. So say, well, no. How many have ever been around a lawnmower? And most kids will raise their hand and say, well, now, is a lawnmower a tool? Well, yeah. And I say, well, can it be dangerous? So I ask them. They'll say, well, yes, they can be dangerous. And I say, well, yeah. Do lawnmowers have a part that turns, parts that move or cut? And they'll say, well, yeah, they do. And then you can say, well, tractors are a lot like a lawnmower. They have parts that turn, parts that move, and parts that can cut. Now, pretend this tractor's real. As a real tractor, what do you see that could make this tractor dangerous? Now, they'll start and shout out things, and a lot of times they don't know what to call it. So they'll say, the thing in front, the bucket, the scoop, even though we might call it a loader. So help them out a little bit and say, well, yeah, you're right. Are you talking about this part? Well, that's a loader. Now, are there seat belts in there? No. If there's no seat belts, no riding. Would it be safe to be underneath there? And then usually I'll whack my finger and show them, that if this goes down, they can get hurt. Parts that go up and down, we stay out from underneath them. The tires, and usually they'll point this out. Keep egging them on for information. Say, now what else could be dangerous? And they'll point, well, the tires are big. You can get run over. Yes, you can. The taller the tires, the harder it is for a driver to see where you are. The safest place around farm equipment is either in the house while it's working, or move off to the side away from it to where you can look inside and then look back in at the driver's eyes. And many times I do it this way, so I get down on their level, so I'll actually get down on my, almost to my knees, crouch down, and look them in the eye. And I'll say, well, if I can see your eyes, can you see me? They say, yes. Now, if I can see you, would I run you over? No. But I have to be able to see you. So you're trying to help them recognize that they need to position themselves in such a way that they're just a little bit in front to look in and see you as the operator. Now, once they're there, that is a safe place because they can make eye contact with you and you won't run them over. So that's one of the better ways to teach that part of safety with them. And then I'll even say this works whether it's a car or a school bus. If it's a school bus, stay on the safe side by the sidewalk. But if your bus driver can't see your eyes and you can't see their eyes, it's a dangerous place to be. So from there, usually if your time is a little bit long or short, you can either add or subtract from it. You can go on more about animals, feeding them. You can talk a little bit about haystacks. They can tip over, how dangerous they can be. Then after that, I'll usually say, now, a farmer that's not strong and healthy, will he be a good farmer? Take two. Let's rephrase that one. Let's go back. So normally after that one, I'll say, okay, now let's talk a little bit about being healthy and strong. And then I ask a question. A farmer that's sick and in bed all the time, is he going to be a good farmer or not so good? And you just say, well, not so good. Well, that's right. He's sick. He's not doing his chores. So let's talk about what it takes to be healthy and strong. A farmer needs to make sure that they get lots of good food. Today you're out here learning about the foods we grow on our farms. Now, what are some foods that are healthy and nutritious that you can eat to keep your body healthy and strong? Ask for ideas. Sometimes you have to prompt them a little bit, whether it's milk, water, apples, fruits, vegetables, but get them talking, have them throw out ideas. You'll always have one kid that says pizza, ice cream. If they do
Chicken
that,
nuggets.
yeah, chicken nuggets, giant hamburger with bacon, that does come up. Smile and say, well, maybe that can be healthy. We'll come right back to it. But don't let them drive you. You have to kind of steer them. So what I'll do is say, well, now those are foods that are healthy. Your fruits, your vegetables, you've got your proteins in there, you've got water, you've got dairy products. Those are foods that can be healthy, but you have to have a balanced diet. And that means having a combination of those good foods. Now you can set the tractor down by this point in time.
Right? You don't have to carry it the whole time.
So once you say that, and then just say, now part of a healthy diet is an occasional treat. So if you like a snack, that's how I work ice cream kind of back into it. You know what, if you're eating good, you're having healthy meals, on occasions you can have that snack too. That's where we can have the other food. Next, after I do that, then I'll say, well, now that's not all you need. There's still 2 more things your body needs to become healthy and strong. The second thing is something you do at night. And usually I'll have them guess this. I'll say, at night, just before bedtime, well, that's not it. What do I say? Okay, you do this every night. After you brush your teeth, you're getting ready for, and usually everyone will shout out, bed, sleep, and say, that's right. Do we need rest for our bodies? Rest helps your body grow. It helps it develop. It builds your muscles. It gives you energy. It recharges your batteries. So you need to get plenty of rest to be healthy and strong. Now, the last thing that you need is going to be exercise. Now, you guys probably get that at school during recess or PE. Farmers, do we always have a chance to go to the gym and lift weights? No, not always. But we do a lot of chores on our farms. Can a chore be an exercise? Some will say yes, some will say no. And then I just say, well, you know what? They can be. And to prove it to you, I have got a silly song and dance. Now, there's 2 rules to the dance. That is, you can laugh at me while I do it. The second rule is, I want you to do it with me when I get done. And it's easy. It goes to head, shoulders, knees, and toes, so you already know the tune. But the actions and words are a little bit different. We're going to start off with a pair of pruners. Now, a lot of times the kids don't know what pruners are. So I'll say, pretend you have a giant pair of scissors. These big scissors, they're called pruners. We're going to cut our trees. If you don't get a lot of buy-in from the kids, you can tell they're not interested. Usually I'll say, now remember, these pruners are sharp, so to make sure you don't hit your neighbor. They'll cut their hair off. That ponytail's going to be gone. Watch out for hoodies. And so it gets them a little bit more excited. So from there, say, okay, here we go. We go prune, shovel, pick and weed, pick and weed, pick and weed. Prune, shovel, pick and weed, find the chickens, give them feed. So it's basically just prune, and then hands together like you've got a shovel, dig. So prune, shovel, dig. What is it now?
Pick and
Thank
weed.
you. That's embarrassing. Can we edit this?
You've only done this like
So-
6 million times.
I know, I still blew it. Now, after I do it one time through, the first time through is just to give them an idea. You've got to go kind of fast. Time will be running out. So, afterwards, invite them to stand up, and you'll do it again. Here we go. Together. Prune, shovel, pick and weed, pick and weed, pick and weed. Prune, shovel, pick and weed. Find the chickens, give them feed. Then usually we'll wrap up after that. Now, if you're short on time, ad-lib. Go ahead. You know things about safety. Talk about a personal experience that you've had, a near miss. If not, just talk a little bit more. Say, well, let's go back and talk about being safe. We've talked about tractors. Let's talk more about animals. Do you sneak up behind animals? So here, basically what you're looking at is how you can just fill in some extra time. And one of the other things I've done is, when we get to the end, I'll say, now how many have a bike? If there's extra time, most will raise their hand and say, now, are there rules to be safe with your bicycle? And they'll say, well, yeah, there are. Most kids say no because they want to be smart. And so you just say, well, yeah, there are rules to be safe with your bike. Now, with that being said, we have rules for our tractors. When we follow those rules help keep us safe, but also protect others too. And so if you have a little bit more time, you can just see if they have any questions.
Cool.
And so, and when I do the food part, let them guess some of the foods. When I say, hey, what are some foods they can eat? Let them just say them and blurt them out. I think that's it.
Okay, thanks.